Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good morning. Today is Wednesday. I hope everybody had a good night yesterday, a good Tuesday night. For those of y'all that don't know me, I am conscious. For those of y'all that do know me, I am conscious. And today we're going to be talking about how your lessons can become blessings. Again, I'm going to say that again for y'all. Today's subject is going to be about how your lessons can become blessings. I'm going to start off, for those of y'all that know me, I usually start off talking sometimes. Sometimes I start off with a Bible verse. Today, I'm going to start off with a Bible verse. Let's go. Let's get into it. Today's Bible verse comes from Philippians chapter 4, verses 9. And it says, the things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Proverbs, we're going to go into Proverbs as well. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20 says, listen to the advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. I'm going to say that one more time. Proverbs 19 verse 20 says, listen to advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. Okay, so basically, what the Bible verse is saying is that you can use your knowledge and your wisdom from the things that you've been through to gain better knowledge and become better in life. So as I said, today's subject is about turning your lessons into blessings. Now, I'm gonna start off with breaking down both. A blessing is something that we are handed to. A blessing is something that we're handed by God. A blessing is something that we're handed by God. It can come in the form of money. It can come in the form of hope. It can come in the form of health. It can come in the form of a lot of different things. But a blessing is something special that we are given from God. A lesson. What is a lesson? A lesson is basically it's something that you learn from the mistakes that you make. And we all make mistakes in life. We all go through mistakes in life. And we tend to think about a lesson is we tend to not use those lessons to progress in life. Sometimes when we make mistakes in life, we might make a bad mistake. And when we make a bad mistake, we might let it break us down. We might be like, oh, I done made this mistake and I done did this and it got me thinking about all this stuff and da 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 da. So as soon as you're thinking about all that stuff that you're going through, you allow it to deteriorate you. You allow it to tear you down. You start to just lose hope. You start to lose focus because of that one mistake. You know, we go through incidents in life, like for example, stuff happens. You could be playing basketball right now, and you could be good at it. You can be great at it. You've been great at it for a long time, but one time you might shoot the ball, or you might go up for a layup, and you might end up spraining your ankle. So you just looking at like, oh, I done made a mistake, and because you done sprained your ankle, all you ever have is basketball. So now while you rehabilitating, you're thinking to yourself, they're telling you different things, and you're sitting there and you're thinking like, oh, I'm never going to get better. I don't think I'm going to be able to play basketball again. So you start to lose hope instead of you looking at it as a blessing that might help you to progress. See, the thing about it is we all make mistakes in life. But the thing about it is, even though you make mistakes in life, you should never allow your mistakes to tear you down. You should never allow your mistakes to hold you back from making progress in life. You gotta take the thing about it is you gotta take your lessons and appreciate those things. If you make a mistake, it's okay. But when you make a mistake, you have to sit back and you have to think about it, what the mistake that you made. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, yes, I made this mistake, but what am I going to use this mistake as to progress? You gotta ask yourself, am I gonna use this mistake and am I gonna allow this mistake to keep me stuck right here? Am I gonna allow this mistake to beat me up and tear me down? Or am I gonna use this mistake to better myself? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you start to realize that you're going to use that mistake to better yourself, you gain knowledge from that. You gain knowledge from that. And when you gain knowledge for that, it can help you to progress because you know now that you're not going to make that same mistake. Now I know y'all looking at me and y'all asking me, well, you said the lesson is about how to turn a lesson into a blessing. So where we going with this? I'm getting ready to get into it. I'm getting ready to get into it. Now, as I said before, you can use that mistake as knowledge because you won't make, you know now, okay, I know that I made this mistake. I know that I did this, I did that, I got better. This helped me to understand this. So I know I'm not going to do this again. So how do you turn it into a blessing? How do you turn that mistake into a blessing? Well, I got the answer for you. Turn that mistake into a blessing by using that same mistake, whatever the mistake was, to progress. That's how you turn it into a blessing. Use it to progress. How do you progress? We all had talents. We all had gifts. We all got good different things that we go through in life, right? So the best way to do that is to turn to God. Because when you turn to God, you talk to God, you say, God, I'm going through it right now. I done did this. I've been going through a lot. I feel like I'm backtracking. I don't know which way to go or which direction to go. I don't know how to use this that I'm going through to be better because I feel like it's tearing me down and making me worse instead of making me better. I need your help. And when you going through things, if you feel like you cannot figure it out, because some people, they think they got it all figured out, and that's the problem right there. They think they got it all figured out. They be like, "Oh, I don't need nobody help. I know what I'm doing. It don't matter how many mistakes I make. I know how to get through this problem. I know how to progress. I know what I'm doing." Da 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 da. And you, them same people who always say that, a lot of those people be still sitting still. They be stuck because they have no type of direction. They don't even reach out to their family for help. They don't reach out to a friend for help. And they don't really even reach out to the man who even put them on this earth, God, for help. You have to be willing to reach out to God for direction because God knows you better than you know yourself. I can't stress this to y'all enough. Those of y'all that know me know when I say I can't stress this to y'all enough, that means that I've said this before. When you are lost and you don't know which way to go, reach out to God because God can tell you exactly what to do. It says it in the Bible. It says that God will never forsake you and he will guide your footsteps. You have to put your trust in God because God will give you the direction that you need to progress in life. Like I said, mistakes can become blessings. A mistake doesn't have to be something that keeps you stuck. It doesn't have to be something that holds you back. You can use that mistake to better yourself. You can turn that mistake into a financial blessing. You can turn that mistake into something that can help somebody else. You can turn that mistake into a life lesson or that can help yourself later. Like I said, these things can become blessings. A lot of us in life right now, we sit around and we just think about the negatives. Oh, people tell us what we can do, what we can't do, and we allow people to get up in our head. We allow them to twist it up. We allow them to make us think that we aren't better than we are in life. And that is a big problem right now in society. Again, I'm going to say that again. A lot of people allow people to tell them what they can and what they cannot do in life. And they twist up their heads to the point that they feel like they can't do something because somebody said that they can't do something, or they get to a point where they start to feel like they need confirmation from people to progress in life, or they need confirmation from people to keep on going. That is the wrong type of mindset to have. When you're going through things, you have to put your trust in God. Like I said, God can turn mistakes or lessons into blessings, but you have to be willing to trust in Him. How will you know? How will you know how to do it if you don't put your trust in God? Ask yourself that. How can I be better? How can I be a better version of myself? Or how can I continue to elevate in life if I don't ask God which way to go? See, this is the thing. When the devil knows that you're stuck, when the devil knows that you're lost, He tends to come in and seek and destroy. When the devil knows that you're lost, he tends to use that as fuel to tear you down more and more. This is why it's important to have God, because when you're lost, he can direct you. When you're lost, if the devil tries to come and attack, God can give you the type of armor that you need to block the devil off. When he sends demons, God can give you the type of armor you need. Like I said earlier, people will try to twist your head up. And see, people love to see you down. When you're down and out, there's so many miserable people in this world. Misery loves company. I'm going to tell y'all this again. Misery loves company. There's a lot of miserable people in this world. There's a lot of people that's caught up in living a wrong life. There's a lot of people that's going on the wrong path. There's a lot of people that's making more mistakes than they are corrections. And when they're doing that and they know that their life is stuck, or they know that their life ain't doing better, but they see that you're in a certain place, they wait for you to make one mistake so that they can put you right where they're at in life. I'm telling y'all, I'm being real with y'all right now. There's a lot of people who want to see you down right now. Right now, there's somebody on this live that's listening to me right now who is sitting in their house and don't even know that the person that they're getting ready to call later on is sitting there and plotting or hating or thinking of a way to tear you down. I'm being honest with y'all. I'm just being real with y'all. Misery loves company. Instead, and when that type of stuff happens, guess what that means? That means that your lessons that you're supposed to be learning is going to be your destruction instead of your blessing or your upcoming or your uprising, as I should say, or your progression. That's exactly what it's going to mean. You have to determine for yourself, do I want to be stuck right here in life? Or do I want to progress in life? Do I want to use the things that I've been through in life to progress in life? Or am I going to sit there and allow it to tear me down, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to complain? A lot of people complain. There's so much complaining going on in the world right now. There's a lot of people that sit around and just complain about the craziest things. I hear people complain about, oh, my back hurt, or my arm hurt, or there's so much people that complain about, oh, I'm struggling, I'm this, I'm that, But the thing that y'all don't realize is, why are you complaining when you have life? There's somebody right now that didn't wake up this morning. There's somebody right now who can't even pay their bills. It's outside right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't even have a roof over their head. Yeah, you might be struggling, but you got a roof over your head. It doesn't matter if you got a 1 bedroom, a studio apartment, or a 2 bedroom. Regardless of how you struggling, you still got a roof over your head. It doesn't matter if you're going back and forth with the car note. Guess what? You're still able to drive a car. Somebody right now is walking to work. Walking 3 hours to get there, walking 1 hour to get there. Somebody right now is catching a bus and spending a lot of money catching a bus when they could be saving to get a car. But you have a car. Why are you complaining? You got food. You got food in your stomach today. Why are you complaining? Somebody didn't eat. There's so much complaining out here. This is why I said your lessons in life that you learn. I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm trying to give a lesson. This lesson that you learn in life can be a blessing to you, because when you sit there and you complain and you don't appreciate the things that God gives you, God will take it away. As fast as God gives you a blessing, he will take it away from you if you do not appreciate the things that God has given you. You have to appreciate what God gives you. You have to appreciate what God does for you. You don't sit around and ignore what God has done for you. Don't sit around and be like, oh, excuse me. Don't sit around and be like, oh, well, I'm not where I want to be. I've been working at Home Depot for 3, 4 years, but I really want to be out there making so much money. I want to be doing this and doing that, and I ain't gotten nowhere yet. So you like, but I pray every day, and I haven't achieved my goal yet. I haven't became a fashion designer. I haven't became an architect, or I haven't done da 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 da, and you're complaining because God hasn't done it fast enough for you. Just because God doesn't do something fast enough for you, it does not mean that His will be done. For those of y'all that read the Bible, I'm telling y'all right now, and for those who don't, I'm telling y'all right now, 'cause I'm still learning the Bible myself. I'm not a prophet. I take it one day at a time, becoming a better man every day. But I'm gonna tell y'all based on my knowledge of what I've learned so far, God will, His will be done. It just takes time. God will never leave you hanging. And when you talk to God, God hears your prayers. God has your back. Richard Trevithick said that's why I have a small circle. Yes, it's good to have a small circle because, like I said, misery loves company. You don't want to surround yourself with miserable people. You want to surround yourself with positive people. You know, energy is real, y'all. Energy is real, but I'll get back into that in a second. But like I said, in the end of the day, God will never forsake you. God's will be done. You just have to learn to be patient. But y'all sitting around and y'all complaining. Y'all need to appreciate what y'all have. Y'all need to be more thankful for what y'all have, because the things that God give you, He doesn't have to give it to you, but He gives it to you because He loves you. Focus more on the things that you have. Focus more on the things that you're doing in life right now. Come up with a plan. And as you do the plan, ask God to guide your footsteps and you will see where it goes. Like I said, along the way, in life, period, we get sidetracked. That's just a part of life, period. Things come up. You know, we have deaths in the family. You know, we have things that go on with our children. We have all kind of things. And then on top of that, we're not perfect. We're human. We all make mistakes. We all sin. Okay? Nobody's perfect. I don't know one human being on this earth right now who is perfect. We all sin. We all make mistakes. Okay, this is why it's important to ask God for forgiveness. But just because you sin and you make mistakes, again, that does not mean that your mistakes have to define how your life is going to turn out. Your mistakes does not have to be your downfall. Your mistakes can be a blessing. Your mistakes can be something that can help you to grow. Your mistakes can help you to be better. But you have to be willing to take them lessons and turn them into blessings. But you can't turn nothing into a blessing if it's a lesson if you don't talk to God and you don't let God guide you and you don't let God help you. You have to ask God to guide you. Robert Kelly said, do you think God will accept me as a... we ain't talking about negativity. Do you expect money for talking for God? No. Don't come on this live with all this negativity talking crazy to me. Let me tell you something. I don't do this for no money. I don't really, to be honest with you, this is my wife's channel. Okay, my wife, this is Ashley the chosen one by Ashley. This is my wife's channel. I get on here and I talk. When God put something on my heart, I get on here and talk. When my wife doesn't feel good, I don't have to do this. My bills are paid. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I go through my struggles. I'm not gonna lie, I go through struggles just like everybody else. But God got me. I get on here because I really care about people. I really want to help people. I really want to reach people. So don't come on this live talking negative to me. That's like I said, when you trying to do, when you get a blessing or when you trying to reach people, or God's helping you, here comes the negativity. It's always the devil trying to sidetrack somebody. Like I said, misery loves company. But no. So I'm not afraid of y'all. So don't come on here with negativity. If you come on here with negativity, I'm always gonna block with positivity because I know what I'm on here for. Do you know why you're doing what you're doing in life? Are you sure about why you want to go where you want to go in life? Ask yourself that question. If you don't know the answer, then you need to talk to God, okay? Like I said, turn your lessons into blessings. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to stay stuck. You got to ask yourself, do I want to progress in life? And then you got to ask yourself, how am I going to progress in life? If you come up with a plan, this is the thing. A lot of people don't have patience. You got to understand a part of life and a part of getting ahead in life comes from patience. You have to be willing to have patience, because if you don't have patience, you're not going to be able to sit down and learn from your mistakes and figure out how you can take that mistake and make it into a positivity. If you don't have patience, you're not going to be able to figure out how you can take the things that you're doing in life and continue to grow and be better in life. A lot of that stuff comes from patience. You gotta have patience. Just like when I say that you need to talk to God, a lot of people make excuses about why they can't talk to God. Oh, they be talking about they busy in life, they busy doing that. You're busy in life, but you can make a phone call if you wanted to, right? So just like you can make a phone call right now to anybody, family member, friend, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can have time to talk to God. It doesn't have to be 1 hour. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes. It can just be a simple 5-minute conversation with God. It's a lot. When it comes down to life, it's about patience. Look, I ain't with all this negativity. Like, you will be blocked. Blocked, okay? Blocked. Thank you. Um, what Bible do you use? When I read the Bible, thank you for asking, Joseph. When I read the Bible, I read the King James version. It's a very good version of the Bible. You can go and get that version from you can get it from a bookstore, or these days we have phones. You can get it in your phone. You can get it on your phone. Phones, bookstores. It's different kind of ways you can get the King version, the King James version of the Bible. You know, thank you for your words. Was what I need to hear right now, friend. From that, God bless you. Thank you. Bless you too. Thank you. I appreciate the donation, the $10 donation to my white channel. But I don't do this for the money. I do this for the people. But I really appreciate you, Richard. Thank you. You know. But like I said, turn your lessons into blessings. You know, the thing about it is, I'm gonna talk to y'all about this part about lessons. When we go through negativity, right? We go through a lot of negativity in life. Like that's one big barrier that is hard to control. That's one big barrier that's hard to knock down. We go through so much negativity. When we go through negativity, it is a draining thing. It drains you. It pulls you away from who you are. It pulls you away from who you're trying to be. It pulls you away from doing things, period, because you're so caught up in the wrong. Okay, and what do y'all? I know y'all like. What do you mean you're so caught up in the wrong? Well, let me break it down for you by what I mean by you're so caught up in the wrong. When I say you're so caught up in the wrong, meaning that you're too busy counting how many mistakes you're making. It's like you're trying to progress. You're trying to do better, but it's like every time you're trying to, here comes something else. It's hitting you. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's like you can't win. It's like every time you're trying to bob and weave and go and do something else, here comes the negativity again. Boom, 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 boom. It just keeps hitting you and it keeps trying to knock you down. It keeps trying to tear you down, and you don't know which direction to go because it keeps on happening. Then on top of that, you got so many different other battles that you're facing. But let me tell you something. Again, I don't care if y'all get tired of me saying this, because I say this a lot on these lives. So I don't care who get tired of this. Somebody is touched today by what I'm saying. Somebody's going to be touched and be able to help somebody else today by what I'm saying. I'm going to keep saying this when I get on these lives. When you acknowledge God as your savior, when you acknowledge God as your creator, when you acknowledge God as your king and your ruler, there's nothing that you can't do in life. There's nothing that you can't go and accomplish in life. There ain't nobody that you can't be in life. Here we go with the negativity. Always some negativity on here. You will be removed and blocked if you come on this channel with negativity. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like I said, you can do whatever you want in life if you acknowledge God as your savior. You put God first. Look at me. I'm a living testimony, okay, y'all? For those of y'all who don't know me on this channel, who's just now coming on here and y'all just seeing me for the first time, I'm telling y'all, I used to be in the streets. I was real active out here. I was doing so many negative things. I didn't know which way I was going to go. I was going to either be dead or I was going to be in jail. Okay, I survived both. On top of me going through that, I've had surgeries, multiple surgeries, okay? And I've come out on the other side. And like I said, It's only because of God. Because look, when I was living wrong and I was doing wrong, it was like, I'm gonna give y'all an example. I get this example all the time on these lives. But for those who knew, I'm gonna give you an example. When I was living wrong, it was like touching the stove, okay? God kept telling me to slow down, but I was living fast. I'm like, I slow down when I'm ready. I was just touching the stove. I kept touching. You know when you touch the stove, you ain't supposed to touch it. I kept touching the stove. I kept testing it, just doing like that. Just kept touching, right? And by me touching the stove, I thought I was vicious. I thought I was awesome because I kept on going. I kept getting away with it. But eventually, I still kept touching the stove. And guess what? I got burnt because I ended up having health problems. God told me to slow down, and I didn't listen to God. Okay, so He decided to slow me down so I can learn my lesson, or so I can get my mind right. So what He did was, I ended up getting sick. Okay, I ended up getting sick, and I was in the hospital. And they told me I had 5 months to live. That was God's way of slowing me down. See, like I said, I kept touching the stove and thinking I could get away with it. But how many times can you touch the stove before you get burnt? God don't make no mistakes. God had a plan on my life. He had a calling on my life. He knew that if I kept living the way I was living, I would be in the grave or in jail, okay? And he knew that, and see, the way I was living, I was not serving the Almighty God. I was serving Satan, okay? I'm just being real. I'm just keeping real with somebody right now. I was doing so much negativity. When you're doing the wrong things and you're doing dirt, that's serving the devil. That's what I was doing. I was lost. But God said, I will not allow you to be lost. I will not forsake you. I will not leave your side. I'm going to help get you on track. I'm going to save your life. And that is what God done for me. God been walking with me since I was born. I done had surgery since I was a newborn. I had my first surgery when I was born. Okay, I'm just being real with y'all, and I've been having surgeries throughout my whole life. And on top of that, like I said, I was in the streets doing negativity, and I survived through all that. God has a calling on my life. I'm living proof that God will never leave your side. It's never too late to get yourself right. It's never too late to learn from your mistakes and take your mistakes and turn them into blessings. Okay? Just like what I've been through right now, somebody on this live probably been through what I've been through, probably been in the streets, or somebody that's on this live right now is probably in the streets or got family members that's in the streets, and they looking at it like, oh, I want to get my family out the streets, but they ain't trying to quit. Look at me. If I can leave that life alone, your family can leave that life alone. If I can leave that life alone, if you're still living that way, you can leave that life alone. It's never too late to change. But you have to be willing to make the change. You have to be willing to put your faith in God in order to ask Him how to do it. You have to be willing to put your faith in God and trust Him to help you to do it as well. So much negativity today. Is every time I look up, it's always the devil trying to do something. But like I said, negative people will be removed. I'm not gonna allow the devil to tear me down, because the devil trying to throw my focus off. He want to throw my focus off because I can see right now, and in my heart, I feel like I'm reaching somebody right now. I'm helping somebody. And when you're doing God's work, and when you're trying to help somebody, or when you're trying to do the best you can to change somebody's life, the devil does not like that. The devil has tried me so many times, y'all. The devil has tried to tear me down so many times. Like I said, in life, one of the biggest things that you have to have is patience. The factor says, what do you do? What do I do? You want to know what I do? Right now, I'm still getting myself together. Like I said, I'm a work in progress. I've left the streets alone. I'm trying to get myself together. But what I do is I do the best I can to provide for my family. I take care of my wife and my kids with the money that I had. It ain't much, but it's something. That's what I do. And I serve God. I get on here and I talk to people sometimes when God puts something on my heart and I tries to help change somebody's life. That is what I do. I do the best I can to serve God, and I take care of my family and love my family, and I make sure that my children walk in the light of God. That's what I do. Good looking out for the greater good. I try to do the best I can for the greater good. I'm not perfect. Like I said, I'm telling y'all on this channel right now, for those of y'all that's listening to me talk, I'm not perfect. I'm not on here talking out of no book. I didn't sit down and write down this lesson today. I didn't sit down and do none of that. I'm speaking straight from the heart. I'm just telling y'all what God's putting on my heart. I'm just doing the best I can to reach somebody right now. If I reach somebody today, it can help somebody else. It's a blessing. If I don't reach somebody today, then I'm sorry. I tried. And with time, I hope and pray that God can get you together. But going forward, like I said, if I can change my life, if I can do better, so can you. I made a lot of mistakes, and when I was making those mistakes, I was not thinking about the negativity that it had on my family. I wasn't thinking about the negativity that it had on myself, and I wasn't thinking about the people that I hurt along the way when I was doing them things. Because I was too busy walking around in my mistakes. I was too busy just focusing on destruction. I thought that the way that I was living was the way to live because that's how I came up in a rough environment. I thought that what I was doing was the right thing. I didn't care. I didn't have no type of hope or nothing. Like even with my life, I didn't even think I was gonna see 23. My mind frame was just messed up. I was just stuck on doing so much wrong. I made so many mistakes, and the more mistakes I made, it was depressing. At one point in time, I was smoking marijuana, a lot of marijuana. Just every time I went through something, smoking marijuana, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just beating myself up. I'm just like, oh, I ain't gonna survive. I ain't gonna make it out of here, or I'm gonna end up in jail, or this is gonna be my life. And I keep making these mistakes. I ain't gonna get nowhere in life. Oh, who if I ain't gonna never be nobody. I want to be this in life, but how am I gonna be that because I'm stuck and I'm growing up here? How am I gonna be that because of the things that I've done? Everybody's gonna always look down on me. I'm never gonna be nothing. Like I just always had this mentality. I'm not gonna be nobody. I'm not gonna do nothing better because, like I said, as I tried to progress. When I did try to do positive, I was still living wrong. So I was just allowing my mistakes to overshadow the positive things that I was doing. Such as I was a positive person. I love to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? So when I would talk to people and come across people, I would have conversations with them and I wouldn't judge nobody. I would try to help them best I can. That was while I was doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I had money in my pocket, I would give it to a homeless man. If I had money in my pocket, I would give it to a friend if they needed help, anything. Those are more positive things I was doing when I was doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So even when I was doing wrong, the point I'm trying to make is that I was still doing positive. But again, I would allow my mistakes to overshadow the positivity, and it kept holding me back. So again, so basically what I'm saying is I allowed my mistakes to pull me back and keep me stuck. I wasn't taking my mistakes and learning from them and looking at the positive of aspects of the things that I was doing positively to turn it into a blessing to help me to go forward in life. I wasn't looking at the positive things I was doing as a way to say I know that I can accomplish these things. I wasn't even talking to God. God kept talking to me. He kept staying in my ear about things. But like I said, I was still touching the stove. And I told God at one point, I'm just being real with y'all. I told God I'm gonna slow down when I'm ready. Yeah, God got in my ear before when I was doing negative. He told me he had a plan for me. He put it in my heart. Cause sometimes I know a lot of y'all are sitting around and wondering, like, when can I get that confirmation from God? And I'll get into that with y'all in a second. But like I said, he was in my ear. He was telling me things, but I was always like told God that one main time, and when he would try to reach out to me, I am going to slow down when I'm ready. Even when I was doing the bad things, I've been in situations where I got in a car accident before. I'm just being real with y'all. It's a serious car accident, and I'm still here. Okay, so God has a plan on my life. He been had a plan on my life. Even when I was doing wrong, he been had a plan on my life. But like I said, I was allowing my mistakes to overshadow the positivity. I was staying stuck. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I started to pay attention to the positivity, until I started to listen to God and get focused, okay, that I started to see my life progress in a better way. It wasn't until then that I started to see that the things that I had went through in my life, the negative things that I was doing, or that started to see that the things that I was doing along the way, even if it was a mistake, that it was turning into blessings. Look at me right now, how I changed. I have good health. I have good health, okay? Now, let me be honest with y'all. I still go in and out the hospital from time to time. I had to because of my surgery, because, my condition or whatever. But I am in better health than I was a long time ago. I'm way more better now than I was a while ago, okay? And I'm doing really well health-wise, okay? On top of that, like I said, yeah, I go through my struggles. Yeah, I go through my ups and downs. But guess what? I take care of my family. Okay, I take care of my wife and I take care of my children. I do that to the best of my ability and I don't complain about it. When I go broke, I don't sit around and I complain about being broke. I'm content with the fact that I'm able to have a positive income and take care of my family and I don't have to look over my shoulder to do it. I am very content with the fact that I can hug my mother and she can tell me that she is proud of me. I am content with the fact that I have a woman who loves me. I am married. Okay, I am content with that in life. God has took my mistakes, okay, and my lessons that I've been through and the things that I had done and turned those into blessings. So if he can do that for me, he can do that for somebody that's on this live right now. He can do that for you. Whoever is listening to me right now and wondering if it can be done. I am living proof. I will not get, let me tell y'all, for those of y'all that don't know me, I'm gonna tell y'all this. One thing about me, I'm not gonna get on this live and just tell y'all something that I read out of a book. I'm not gonna get on this live and give y'all false hopes. I'm not gonna give y'all false promises or nothing. When I'm telling y'all something, I'm telling y'all this because I mean it. I would not tell y'all nothing that I have not experienced myself. I'm being real with y'all. God's will can be done. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. If you put God first, it can be done. Okay? A lot of my friends right now are on drugs. And some of my friends are no longer here. I have family members right now that are on drugs. I have family members that are no longer here. I beat those odds. I overcame them odds. But I wouldn't have did it if I didn't trust God. I spend a lot of time getting my mind right. I spend a lot of time talking to God. And no, I don't want y'all to think, oh well, what did you do? Wait till the last minute and then decide to change? No, I didn't. God gave me a warning, okay? And I did start getting sick, okay? But when I started getting sick, I was still feeling normal. I was still moving normal. I didn't even know I was sick at first, okay? I decided at one point in time that I needed to change my life for my better self, to better myself. But around the time when I changed my life later on, my body started to deteriorate more and more, meaning that my body was breaking down more and more. But I had already had it in my mind and was already starting to get myself right with God before that happened, okay? So like I said, you have to be willing to put your faith in God. If you put your faith in God, his will be done. Now, I remember I was just talking to y'all. Now, see, I'm good with keeping up. I'm good with remembering, keeping my promises. I remember I was just talking to y'all and I told y'all that some of y'all on this live right now is probably wondering, well, how did you get that confirmation from God, or how do you know when God's going to give you a confirmation? Well, let me go ahead and explain this to y'all. Let me break it down to y'all. Confirmations from God come in different kind of ways. For those who don't know, it can come in the form of God talking to you. You can hear him in your ear. He can put something in your ear. God can put a certain type of feeling on your body, meaning that it could be like a weird feeling. You could be like, oh, wait a minute, ooh, like a chill, you know what I'm saying? Or God can put a certain type of feeling in your heart. Okay, it's a certain type of feeling in your heart. He can talk to you through the heart. Now, let me explain it to y'all. God, I want to make sure I be careful with how I break this down, because how I break this down is going to help somebody else, and it's going to determine how somebody walks forward today or tomorrow, or how somebody that they talk to is going to walk forward. So I have to be very careful with how I break this down to y'all. Let me tell y'all, God has different ways of talking to you, okay? But you have to know when God is talking to you and when you're being tricked. Now I know y'all kind of like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like I said, you have to know when God is talking to you and when you're being tricked. Because, like I said, the devil tends to seek and destroy, and misery loves company. The devil knows when God is going to give you a confirmation. Okay, the devil knows when God, just like the devil knows how God has a calling on your life. So when you're sitting around and you're waiting on confirmation from God, and God is getting ready to give you a confirmation, the devil might try to jump out there and trick you. So let's say, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Okay, let's talk about the hearing part. So God might be getting ready to give you a confirmation about starting your fashion line. If you're a clothing designer, God might be getting ready to give you a confirmation about you being a clothing designer, right? And it's been the confirmation that you're waiting on what you need to do to start your company to get ahead and make it a multi-million dollar company, or make it affordable clothes for children. He getting ready to give you a confirmation about that. But the devil knows this, so what the devil might get in your ear, and he might be like, um, yeah. So I'm gonna help you start your company. It's time for you to do it right now. But what you need to do is you need to go out and you need to hang out some more. You need to go and do this. You need to go do that. You need to go, and I guarantee you, if you do that, and then also you come back, you're gonna be fine. And see, because you heard that random voice, you might think, oh, that's what God want me to do. You know, because he didn't say too much. You see, the devil, how he play tricks. He ain't gonna say too much negativity, because he know if he say too much negativity when he telling you to do that, you're gonna know it's the devil. So he'll try to act like he God by trying to tell you something positive in a negative way. So then you'll be like, oh, okay, that's confirmation I needed. But that's the wrong confirmation. You have to know when God is giving you the right confirmation. God's confirmation might tell you, okay, you've been patiently waiting. You've saved up your money. So what you need to do now is take that money, go to the bank. I'm going to help you. Go to the bank and talk to somebody about taking out a loan. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help touch that person to help understand exactly what you're trying to do with your business. I'm going to help you to come up with a business plan. See, that's when God's talking to you. So, like I said, you have to know the difference between when you're being tricked and when God's giving you a confirmation. And a lot of people don't know that. And that's why a lot of people who have callings on their life, a lot of people who have certain types of talents, they end up not accomplishing and progressing, or they end up using their talents for the wrong reason. They get caught up in the negative because they get tricked by the devil. You have to know when God is giving you a confirmation. Even if you're not asking God about doing something when it comes down to using your talents, if you're asking God about something that's going on with your marriage, if you're asking God about something that's going on with your family, if you're asking God about something about your children, you have to know when God gives you that confirmation. Like I said, he can get in your ear and he can talk to you. You can be sleeping and he can come to you in a dream right now. You could be like waking up, you could be like, God, is that really what you want me to do? Or God, what are you trying to tell me? And he had just came to you. But like I said, there's different kind of ways. Also, he can put it on your heart. You can be sitting down randomly and you can just feel this random weird feeling in your heart. You could be like, wow. It could just be like boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden your mind frame is different. You're like, I don't know why, but I feel like I just gotta go do this today. That's God talking to you. If it's positive and it has something to do with what you've been sitting around and waiting on an answer about, that is God talking to you through your heart. Like I said, he can talk to you through your heart. Somebody said, shut up, fam, fully stuff, who's God? I pray for those who's lost. I was once lost. I'm not here to judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeding into no negativity neither. But I pray for those who's lost. I was lost one point. I was out here and wasn't thinking right. So I'm not judging nobody. Somebody said you got the right roots. Negativity. We ain't worried about that. You keep coming into my wife's channel with these negative comments when she go live. We don't focus on that. We focus on the positivity. You're a good man. Get up and fight. The world, God is with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, the factor. Thank you. I appreciate that. The crypto crazy said, good looking out for the greater good. I'm trying. I'm just doing what God called me to do today. But like I said, in the end of the day, God will give you confirmation different ways. Like I said, when you're doing things and you might be getting ready to get into an incident, but then there's that gut feeling that could have saved you from doing something wrong. That's God. That's God right there, touching you in some type of way. You ask yourself, how have I been in so many situations? A lot of people, some of y'all on this live, y'all been on drugs before. Some of y'all on this live had a sex problem before. Somebody on this live had a problem with spending money, couldn't save money for nothing. Probably went bankrupt before, probably lost everything and shook back. Somebody on this live right now has been in death situations more times than they can count. Somebody on this live right now has had another situation. But ask yourself, how have I been through all these situations and I still have continued to come out on top? How was I bankrupt, but I shook back from that? How did I go through these car accidents, or how did I go through these health problems, or whatever situations with death, and I've overcome that? How did I do these different things? Because like I said, when God has a calling on your life, he is going to be there for you. God will never forsake you. God will always be there for you. You have overcome them situations because God wanted you to overcome the situations. God is trying to help you turn your mistakes into blessings. Like I said, if you were bankrupt and you done lost it all, but you done came back from that, that is a blessing. You learned from that. You no longer going to be spending, you no longer sitting around and spending money like crazy. Instead, you're saving. You have managed to get yourself back that house. You have managed to get yourself back that car. For those of y'all that was having sex and wilding out or whatever, and you done finally realized that this is soul exchange with that, you done slowed down. How'd you overcome that? Because that lesson became a blessing. For those of y'all that was on drugs, just like me, I was smoking marijuana. I know y'all looking at it like marijuana is not the serious drug. I've been on heroin, I've been on crack, or I've been on meth. That is something real. Let me know when you go through that, son. Well, let me tell you something. I never been on heroin, crack, or meth, or none of that, right? But marijuana is a very addictive drug. I still have my days where I'm still battling, where I go through stress and depression. And I'm like, oh, I want to smoke, but I put God first. I trust in God. So, like I said, for those of y'all that's been on drugs heavy, even though I've never been on no serious heavy drugs or whatnot, you've overcome that. Okay, you overcame that because God helped you to take that lesson and turn it into a blessing. And because of that, you are doing better right now. You might have a job. At one point in time when you was on drugs, you was in and out of jail. You didn't have a job. You was sleeping on the street. You was homeless. But now you have a roof over your head. Probably have a family and everything. God gave you that because he turned your lesson into a blessing. Your lessons that you go through in life can become a blessing. You might have been going through problems in your marriage. You might have almost filed. You might have almost filed for divorce, or to the women, your husband might have almost left you. To the men, your wife might have almost left you. But instead, still, you managed to beat that situation. Y'all managed to come together and work it out. Now you're happier than ever because God turned that into a blessing. Because you trusted God and you put him first. He helped you to come out of that pit. And now you're doing better. Your lessons can become blessings. Don't focus on the negative. Don't let the negative deteriorate you, tear you down. Don't let the negative keep you stuck in one place. You are better than that. You have to be willing to fight back. Trust in God to give you the tools to fight back. When you're lost and don't know which way to go, talk to God. Open up your heart. Let me tell y'all something. I see some people on this live don't like to hear what I have to say. I see some people sitting in here, they're leaving and all that stuff, but I'm just giving it to y'all real. I'm not worried about who in here, who ain't. God just said speak, I'm gonna speak. But let me tell y'all something right now. One thing about it is when you're talking to God, you can't run. You can't run. I don't know. Some people go to God and when they go and pray, they wonder why when they pray they ain't gotten nowhere. Because a lot of y'all who pray to God have ill intentions. Some of y'all be praying to God with ill intentions. Yes, I'm talking to somebody right now. Let me tell you something. When you praying to God, God knows your heart. It says it in the Bible. If you're going to God, you have to come to God with a clear, pure heart. You have to really be open about what you're saying. If you're talking to God about something, be honest. Because whatever you're sitting there, you're trying to hide and shade, God can see through it already. And that is exactly why your lessons have not become a blessing. That's exactly why when you're asking God for something, some of y'all are still going to be stuck 5 years from now. Some of y'all are still going to be stuck 10 years from now. When you go to God and you ask God for something, when you go to God and you're looking for help, when you go to God about anything, you really have to be open and honest with God, because God made you. God knows your heart. God knows what you're doing in life right now. God knows exactly what somebody's doing right now while they're watching me on this live. God knows if what I'm saying to somebody on this live is touching somebody right now, or God knows if what I'm saying to somebody on this live, if y'all just sitting there and y'all not even paying me no attention. God also knows right now if somebody's coming on this live, like these comments I'm deleting right now, keep deleting, and they're just coming to try to throw me off with negativity. God knows those things. So basically what I'm saying is, when you talk to God, go to God with an open heart. If you know you're making mistakes right now, you don't have to keep making those mistakes. One thing about God, God understands. Don't never be too afraid to talk to God. Some people are afraid to talk to God because they've made so many mistakes in life. They feel like that they can't get into heaven. They feel like God ain't going to love them. They feel like God ain't going to help them. God ain't going to do nothing. That is not true. Don't never sit around and allow your mistakes to stop you from reaching out to God. God gives us the power of free will in life. God knows we're not perfect. God knows we're going to make mistakes. But as you make mistakes, you have to ask God for forgiveness. But ask God, while you asking God for forgiveness, you have to be serious about what you're saying. You can't be going and making a mistake. You can't go right now and rob a store and then tell God, God, forgive me for robbing this store. I promise you I'm going to do better. And then turn around tomorrow and rob another store. And then ask God again, God, forgive me. No, you can't do that. But if you robbed a store and you feel real bad about what you've done and you really want forgiveness from God and you ask him for forgiveness, God will forgive you because he knows we're not perfect. I'm just being honest with somebody. But does that mean that God sits there and allows you and is okay with you doing so much negativity and keep on doing it? No. At some point in time, you have to change. You have to be willing to try to do better in your life. Turn your lessons into blessings. No matter what you're doing in life, when you make a mistake, there's a lesson somewhere in those mistakes. You have to be willing to figure out what part of that mistake you're going to use as something to help you to become a better person. And then you got to take that lesson and talk to God about it and turn it and allow him to help you out and turn it into a blessing. I'm talking to somebody right now in this live. I'm being honest. Another thing, I'm gonna say this right, because I've been way over my time. I was only gonna do like 30 minutes today. I was only gonna talk to y'all for a second, but I'm like almost an hour in. That's how much I love people. When God touches me, I just keep going, and when I know that something that I'm saying can help somebody, I'm always willing to keep on giving knowledge and information until I feel like that God is pleased, or until I feel like I've really reached somebody. That's how much I love people. I'm not worried about how much time is going past or none of that. I'm just trying to help somebody right now. That's all I'm focused on. But let me tell y'all something. Don't get caught up in the wrong that you're doing in life. Like I said, at one point in time in my life, all I focused on was the negative things I was doing. Yeah, I had positive things that I was doing while I was doing negativity, but I allowed the negativity to overshadow the positive. And by me allowing the negative to overshadow the positive and not keeping God in any type of part of my life or even focusing on God, even though he kept trying to tell me different things, it set me back so many times, Like I thought I'd never make it out the hood. I thought I wouldn't even get to live and become a better person because of the wrong that I was doing. All I did was knock myself down multiple times. Even when God told me that to slow down, I didn't listen. Even when God told me I got a calling on your life, you're gonna be somebody, I still didn't listen. All I kept telling myself is I'm not gonna be this, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna make it out, I'm not gonna be any better, because I allowed the negativity to weigh on me so heavily, like a rock that's tied to me, a big old rock that's sinking me down underwater and not being able to come up for air is like an anchor. that's on a boat. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just couldn't pull myself up from that, because I allowed the negativity overweigh the positive. I just kept doing the wrong things. I kept focusing on what was wrong and thinking that that was right. Again, I tell y'all again, I kept focusing on what was wrong and kept thinking that I was doing right, but I wasn't doing right. I wasn't in any type of way. I was doing the devil's work because all I did was tear down my people with the life I was living. All I did was hurt people with the life I was living. Nothing I was doing was positive. Yeah, when I was doing certain things, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I made money when I was in the streets. I'm not gonna talk about how I did it or why or what I was doing, But I'm gonna tell y'all that I did make money, and when I was making that money, that again. Money is the root of all evil. For those of y'all that don't know, money is the root of all evil. Yes, don't get it twisted. In the world that we live in, we do need money to survive. But at the same time, there's nothing positive about money. God didn't put us here on this earth to glorify money. God didn't put us here to struggle. God gave us our bodies. Okay, our body is a shell. God gave us our bodies, and not only did God give us our bodies and give us health, but God also gave us talents. Everybody on this earth has a purpose. I don't know if y'all think that I'm crazy or whatever, but I'm telling you the truth. Everybody in this world has a different purpose to serve. You just gotta figure out what that purpose is. I say that again. Everybody in this world has a purpose to serve. You just gotta figure out what this purpose is. We wasn't, like I said, we wasn't put on this earth to worry about money or even to glorify money or even to have to use money to survive. This is not the way the world was supposed to be. If for those of y'all that don't know the Bible, back in Genesis, God wants to destroy the world. He flooded the world, okay? He flooded it. He destroyed the whole world because he didn't like the way the world was. If you look around you right now, for those of y'all who following me right now on this live, if you look around you right now, look at the news. For those of y'all who don't look at the news, start looking at the news. Look at the news. Read the paper. Y'all do everything on your phone. Why you can't look it up on your phone? Figure it out. Like I said, if you looking on the news or if you look at the news on TV, you look on Google, whatever. I don't care how you figure it out. Look it up. There's so many different things going on. There's so many natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, all these different things going on right now. The world is slowly but surely being destroyed, one country at a time, one part at a time. You know why all this is going on? Is because right now this world is covered in sin. The devil thinks he's winning, but God is coming back. God is coming back. He's going to come back, and he's going to come back for us at one point. That's why you need to focus on getting yourself right with God right now. I'm gonna spend my last few minutes on this live talking to y'all about this. I cannot stress this to y'all enough. I said it and I'm gonna say it again. God is coming back. For those of y'all that think that it's a game, y'all so busy living in sin. Y'all just woo. Y'all like on a roller coaster right now. Cause there's so many different things you can do in this world. So you're caught up in the wrong and all that stuff, but you don't realize that God is coming back. And when and I don't know, y'all, some of y'all, let me give you another confirmation. I don't know. During the 90s and the early 2000s, when it was summertime, it was easy to go outside. It wouldn't even be that hot. You could go outside all day and stay outside all day, play with your cousins, your friends, and do this and that. Right now, today, every time it's summertime, just like last year. Every time it's summertime, it's hot. It's too hot. Matter of fact, last summer, a lot of people I know didn't even want to go to a barbecue. They didn't even want to stand outside until the sun went down because it was so hot. Why you think it's getting hot like that? Why you think it keep getting hot? This year it's gonna be hot. I go outside right now and I be feeling like I'm melting. Okay, just as soon as I step out the door. Why do you think that? Because God is coming back. God is coming back. It's gonna get hotter and hotter. You see them forest fires in California. You see what happened. You see what happened when they had that whole fire, and it was smoke in the air and all that stuff, and then the air was polluted and all that last year. You seen what happened with that? Oh y'all know what happened with that. What do you think is going on? That's God. That's God. Why you think all this stuff is happening? You got all these natural disasters popping up in areas that never even had natural disasters. Countries being wiped out and all that stuff that never even had it and all that. I'm telling y'all, God is coming back. That's the point I'm trying to make to y'all. God is coming back. Don't wait until the last minute when you see the water rising up, or when it feel like the sun getting ready to burn you out, or don't wait until a hurricane coming into your town, or a tornado or something coming into your town, and you know the tornado is about to destroy the whole town, and say, "Oh God, please, I want to get myself right." Blah, 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 blah. No, don't wait until it's too late. Get yourself right now. Get yourself right with God right now. It's never too late to change. Turn your lessons into blessings. You can do better with your life right now. You can get ahead. The time that you have left, like I said, the body that we're in is just a shell, y'all. It's just a shell. Like I said, you gotta ask yourself when you cross over, there's somewhere that you're going. There's another side of life. Okay, there's a permanent residence for your soul. Okay, right now this is a temporary residence. This air we breathe is temporary. This food we eat is temporary. These cars we drive is temporary. You can't take none of this with you when you die. You can't take none of this with you when you cross over to the other side. You're either going to go to heaven or hell. Do you want your soul to perish? Do you want to burn? Because when you go through them hell gates, you can't escape. You can run and yell all day long. You can run. What feel like a week down there? What's a year down there? It feel like 5 or 20 years. Okay, you will perish down there. You don't want your soul to perish. Okay, you want to go somewhere where you can be at peace. You can be surrounded by loved ones. You can be with your almighty ruler, your healer, your king, and you can serve out your purpose. You can be able to come back and watch over your family members and protect them. You want to be able to go somewhere where you can be positive and be free of pain and some more. But you got to ask yourself right now, where do I want to go when God calls me home? Ask yourself that right now. Don't wait until you get told you got 2 months to live. Don't wait until that natural disaster comes to your town, because like I said, God is coming back. We don't know. One day we could be on, I could be on this live right now and talking, and the whole world might go blank. And God can come and just wipe us out with fire. And I didn't even see it coming. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait until that minute when we don't see it coming to change your life. Get yourself right now with God. Get yourself right with yourself right now. Take your pain, what you've been through, your mistakes that you've made. Talk to God. Tell God what you want to do. Ask God why He been taking you through that. You've been tired. You've been tried for a reason. God took you through them ups and downs for a reason. Ask Him why and how you can better yourself. Tell Him that you want to do better. Tell Him that you want to take your mistakes and turn them into blessings. Tell Him that you learn from your mistakes. Be honest, be open about it. Don't hide not one single thing when you're talking to Him. When you're ready, for those of y'all that already prayed, and those of y'all that read your Bible, keep doing what you're doing. Trust in God. Have patience. Everything will change for you when God is ready. You might not have had it done yet because of the simple fact that God knows if He throws something to you, it can go wrong. God might not have handed it to you yet because He knows that He has something bigger in store for you. Just be patient. It could take a year. It might take two. But when God is ready for it to happen, it's going to happen. And when it happens, it's going to be bigger than what you thought it was. When it happens, when that becomes a blessing, when it happens, God is going to help to elevate your life. Be patient. For those of y'all that don't pray, for those of y'all that never pray, don't know how to do it, don't be afraid to talk to God. Just try. It only takes 5 minutes. Just open up your heart. It don't even take 5. It could be 2 minutes. Just open up your heart and try to talk to God the best you can. Just tell God what you feel is on your heart and allow God to guide you the rest of the way. For those of y'all that don't read, that haven't read the Bible yet, because y'all feel like y'all tried to open up the Bible, but it was too many words or hard to understand. The Bible is a complicated thing to understand. Ask God to give you knowledge. For those of y'all who can't figure it out, just like you do everything else on your phone, get an audiobook version. Get an audiobook version of the King James Bible. Get an audiobook version of the original Bible, whichever Bible you want to get. Get an audiobook version, one that can read to you, okay? So that you can actually hear and understand what it's saying in the Bible. But don't make no excuses. Get yourself right with God right now. Like I said, take what you've been through in your life. Turn your lessons into blessings. Don't allow your mistakes and the stuff that you've been through to overshadow the positive things that you can do or the things that you're doing. Turn your mistakes and your lessons into blessings by trusting. And how you do that? By trusting God. I'll say it one last time before I get off of here. Turn your lessons and your mistakes into blessings. How do you do that? By trusting God. I'm going to go ahead and read this Bible verse to y'all one more time that I started with in the beginning before I get off of here. We're going to go into Philippines chapter 4 verses 9. It says, the things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and God of peace will be with you. Proverbs chapter 19 verse 20 says, listen to advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. Again, I'll read that last verse to y'all. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20 says, listen to advice, accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom into the future, in the future. Just like I'm on here talking to y'all right now. I hope I touch somebody today. Like it says right here in the word, listen to wisdom and knowledge, and you may gain in the future. That's in the Bible. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this live. I appreciate those who tuned in. For those of y'all that are still tuned in, for those of y'all commented, I always appreciate the good comments. I love y'all. You know, I see your comments. I appreciate those that talk to me. The bad comments, I don't pay those no attention, but I don't judge. I appreciate y'all tuning in anyway, even though you try to come in here and throw me off, even though you coming in here with negative energy. For those of y'all that don't know me, I am conscious. For those of y'all that do know me, I am conscious. This is my wife's channel, Ashley the Chosen One, the Chosen One by Ashley. If you are new to this channel, please click the subscribe button. You know the bell on the side. Click subscribe. When you click the bell, subscribe to all. She does vlogs. She does YouTube shorts. She does lives. We appreciate everybody that supports us. You know, I appreciate everybody that supports my wife. I appreciate everybody that tunes in every time to watch the lives, that comments on the videos, that comments on the shorts, all that. I appreciate everybody. So if you're not subscribed to her channel right now, make sure you go and subscribe so you don't miss nothing. If you are subscribed, again, to those who are subscribed that gets on here every morning to hear her speak, or when I come on here and I speak sometimes, we appreciate y'all. If she don't say it enough, or if I don't say it enough, I'm saying it right now. We appreciate y'all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into my live. I'm gone. I appreciate y'all. Take care. Have a great Wednesday.